Yo, what's up, guys? This is Why Not Be Reckless, aka Why Not Be Casty. I'm one of the HCS commentators, and we have another HCS weekly report where today we're going to be talking about G2 esports and them starting to figure it out. We've been doing this almost for every top team leading up into Orlando, and I want to continue doing it. And especially with G2's performance in Orlando, I think it's definitely worth making a video about them. If you guys like this kind of content, make sure you go down below, leave a comment, leave a subscribe, go onto the Twitch, go onto the TikTok, and go everywhere and all that other shilling stuff. And use code YNOT for all your G Fuel needs. Enough of that, though. Let's get right into the video. G2 esports. Barcode, Straight Sick, Sabinator, and Gilkey. That's going to be your starting lineup. And yeah, that's why I said Barcode, because some of you are like, hold on, Barcode, that Australian guy, his talents were reverberated, reached. His talents made it out here to North America, and he was scouted by none other than team manager Ogre1. Ogre1 comes in and he's been living in Australia for quite a bit. He brings over Barcode and says, yo, this guy has talent. You guys have been missing a piece, somebody who can be that entry frag player alongside Sabinator, because we know Sab is always putting in that damage and opening up the map for Gilkey and Straight Sick to pick up those pieces. Barcode is right along the sides of with that movement, with that aggressive playstyle, and being able to put down tons of damage on the map. Barcode's job is not to be a main slayer. I think a lot of people get that confused. His job is to be the main damage dealer. He's the one that's to open up lanes for his teammates, the same as Sab. A lot of times you'll see Gilkey with the highest KD, but keep in mind, Sab or Barcode might be right up there, if not more, with damage. And then on top of that, Barcode does so much more for the team as far as vibes. Like when there's somebody in the squad that's just being motivating, that's making sure everybody's on point, and it's always kind of really simping for your teammates. He gets that triple like nice. Like that's usually Barcode. Not only does he bring that aggressive play style, the movement, and open up the map for his teammates, but he also brings the vibes, which are so important when it comes to building that chemistry. Tusk and Arctic, former players of G2 esports. We're going to talk about them a little bit more. And then obviously you have Coach Callis, who's been doing coaching for quite a bit. Very strict, very setup heavy, but knows how to play the game the right way and make sure that his team is always on point. One of the reasons why G2 esports are so good at what they do and so good at being very similar to United is not only because the players have that mindset, but also Callis does as well, keeping them on track. That's going to be G2 esports. And now I want to talk about a little bit about their journey going into competitive Halo, because even though they're doing really well right now, it wasn't always that way, and Barcode wasn't always on the team. Keep in mind when we talked about G2 esports, that them being a part of the organization, also being a squad made up of a couple of young guns, a couple of veterans, we had high expectations. Like when it comes to G2 esports, if every team is playing in the Pro Series or Open Series, we wanted to see G2 esports top 6. I would even argue that beginning of the season, even top 8, and especially like a top 12 or top 16, would have been considered a bit of a dip when it comes to G2. It was really top 6 or bust. We had high expectations, and I think rightfully so. This roster's always been great. Again, we talked about Barcode being a new addition going into this G2 esports roster. So one of the older players that started off the season with them was Arctic. Eventually, Arctic finds his way over towards XSET, and now I believe he's on Fnatic now, reuniting with Suppressed. But when they first started, they had Arctic in the starting lineup, and in the first 2 Open Series, we had a double top 8 finish. Not the worst ever. I don't think anybody really, crucified him for that. I think top 8 was decent, where we expected. Would we have liked to see them in that top 6 category? Yes, but we're talking about 1 win away from doing that. Going into Raleigh, top 12 finish out of G2. Not exactly where we wanted to see them. I want to look a little bit at their journey going into bracket play. Get off my screen. So in the winners bracket, got 3-0'd by Ascend. can't say I'm too surprised. Their Ascend really came out hot when it came to Raleigh. Ascend were that guys. I wouldn't say I was really too surprised, but I'm pretty sure that G2 in their minds know that that was a winnable series and expected to come out the winners, so they probably weren't happy with that in the winners bracket going down into the losers bracket for G2. 3-0 built by gamers. That's a big win. And then losing out in the game 5 versus FaZe to make it out of that top 12 category. So not the end of the world here. I mean, obviously FaZe were really good back then. I think FaZe in this tournament ended up maybe in 3rd place. United finished 2nd. So I don't think it's really the end of the world. But obviously when you go to the placing wise, it's not exactly what we wanted to see. Top 12 would have been considered a very slow start, especially for the first LAN for G2, who were known to be a LAN team. Going into Anaheim, top 6 finish. This is where we wanted to see G2. This is exactly what we wanted to see. G2 Esports was in that top 6 category. Scrolling down a little bit, finding G2. Sorry guys, sorry. 3-0 ESA Red, a very good ESA Red roster, might I say. Going to game 5 with KCP. KCP was a tough. KCP and G2 always been a really tough matchup. You have KCP's ultra aggressive playstyle versus G2, a little bit more setup heavy to start off with. Then they obviously get aggressive as well when the time counts. But KCP's always just been a really tough matchup for G2, and it looks like they were able to take it in game 5. Going to elimination bracket. G2 were able to 3-0 Exit. Big win right there. Exit were hot in Anaheim. Exit were definitely one of the teams of the tournaments that ran hot. They punched way above their weight class, even 3-1ing Fnatic and beating Complexity. But G2 giving them the 3-0 and eventually Sentinels giving them the 3-1. So top 6, this is the G2 we wanted to see. I don't think anybody was upset with them making top 6. And if you were, I don't know, man. That's a you problem more than anybody else's problem. By the way, they did bring in Tusk, who I believe was playing for SSG before then. So started off a little bit rocky with Arctic. You bring in Tusk and you start to figure it out a bit. Then we go into Kansas City, where we're still we're still rocking with Tusk, and we dip down again. Top 12, and even before that, we started to see a top 12 finish during the Nissan FaZe Clan Halo Invitational, top 12 in Open Series. We started to see G2 really start to slip here. Even some of these Open Series, by the way, the top teams aren't playing in these Open Series, so this is where we see a bit of a dip out of G2. So up and down, start off decent, dip down, and then start to dip in a little bit further. Talk a little bit about their bracket. Go away. Someone get this man an ad block. G2 able to 3-1 EMGG. That was also another really hot squad going into Kansas City. Very similar to how Exit got really hot. EMGG were lights out. That's a big win for them. But then FaZe 3-0'd them to knock them out of the tournament, which, again, no surprise. FaZe has always been really good. Just a tough matchup for them. But, you got to realize that you give yourself a harder road in bracket play based on your performance in pool play. If they were able to beat out Quadrant, if they were able to finish out a 2nd seed, they started the winner's bracket to give themselves a much easier road, So it's tough, but at the end of the day, pool play matters. It leads into bracket play. It's where your momentum comes from, and sadly, G2 weren't able to perform in pool play, so they just had a really tough bracket and ended up being knocked out a lot earlier than expected. Going into the Super, you bring in Barcode. The first time we see Barcode on LAN. And by the way, we talk a lot about Barcode. It's not just Barcode that came into his right. It's everybody leveling up. Straight Sick was playing incredible. Gilkey was doing Gilk Duds type stuff. Sabinator, dude, I'm a fan of Sab. Underrated for sure. Dude, Sab is real, bro. Dude is fast, in your face, puts down so much damage, bro. And when you combine Barcode and Sab, running around the map together, that's a dynamic duo right there. That's a duo that opens up so many lanes, and that's when we've seen them figure it out. Right back to their top 6 form, but let's talk about how they got their G2 Esports. We're in one of the most competitive groups. Is it the best group? I don't know, but the most competitive group where we look. Oh. Hey, NA Super. Where's Orlando? That's right. So we're talking about. We're talking about the NA Super. I want to talk about Orlando. Where's Orlando? Either way, still NA Super top 6, not bad whatsoever. We'll still talk about this a little bit here. G2 getting 3-1 by G1. Obviously, G1 were the story of the NA Super. They were absolutely incredible. G2 eventually going down to elimination bracket, 3-0ing EXO, no surprise there. 3-1 in KCP, that was a big win, but eventually being knocked out by Cloud9 in that North American Super. Top 6 is where we wanted to see G2 Esports, by not on land online. Okay. Bear with me, we'll edit this part out. I'm so sorry, guys. This is kind of embarrassing. I'm so sorry. Okay. For some reason, it wasn't on there. But either way, we're going to talk about G2 Esports going into pool play. Again, most competitive, one of the most competitive pools that we've saw. You know, you're going up against Sentinels. You got Navi, who were red hot. TSS, who made it through, who are also incredible. G2 Esports had a tough time going into Orlando's pools, but they were still able to finish out in the second place. Obviously not able to beat out Sentinels, but I don't think anyone was surprised there. And with second place finishing, we said you had to perform in pool play. You perform in pool play, you give yourself a little bit of an easier road going into bracket play, where even the winner's bracket 3-0'd by United. Eventually, you run into Team War. We talked about Team War literally all weekend. Team War, where again, there's always that hot team you have to keep your eye out. Anaheim, it was Exit. One of the hot teams going into Kansas City was EMGG. That's one of the teams you had to watch out for. This time it was Team War. Team War made a bunch of fans with their passionate play and their incredible run through the elimination bracket, but eventually you ran into G2, and G2 built a wall. 3-0'd Team War, sending them away, beating out Envoy, who was formerly on this squad, by the way, who was actually beating out Envoy and Rami, who were 2 players who were filling in for G2 while Barker was trying to figure out his situation. Oxygen Esports, another hot team, were able to finish, pull off I believe, a top 8 finish when nobody had them making it that far. They brought in Collect, and they were a tough team, even taking G2 to a game 5, but G2 come out with the win. And as hot as G2 are, anytime they run into Cloud9, you already know Cloud9 are going to come out with the win. Let's be real, man. Cloud9, they have G2's number. They're the real deal, especially with how good Cloud9 were playing at this event. Dude, I think we had Cloud9 in 4th place, maybe? 4th place. Let's be serious, man. They were crazy. Penguin was on one, bro. Penguin was playing better than we've seen Penguin play so far in Halo Infinite. If he keeps playing like that, Cloud9 might be back to championship form. But G2 got 3-0'd by Cloud9. Ended their run once again in that top 6 place. I'm going to verify that real quick. Top 6 placing. Just wanted to make sure. Great job for G2 Esports. Again, it was a rough start. And it has been for a couple of teams. You know, Fanatics, G2s, a couple of teams didn't have the best start going into Halo Infinite. But it's not about how you start. It's about how you finish. It's about what have you done for me recently. And G2 Esports starting to figure it out. They have a damn good roster, a damn capable one. Really excited to see where G2 go from here. That's going to be your HCS weekly report. really excited to see G2 Esports and what they do. Really excited that you guys are here enjoying the content as well. And if you do, again, subscribe down below, leave a comment, let me know what kind of videos you want to see going forward. I'm hoping to bring in some guests going on to some of these shows at least once, if not twice a week. We bring on a guest and just talk to them about their side, whether it's a pro player, a coach, or even an analyst or a manager. Just talk about their side of what Halo means to them and how and what is their story. So gonna be really excited to do stuff like that. Really excited to see you guys watching the content, enjoying the content. Not sure why I keep saying really excited. So not trying to end this video, so I'm just gonna end it right here, right now, before I get myself into a deeper rabbit hole. Have a good one, guys. Peace out.